Okay, we're back with Let's Play Victoria 2. If you remember last time, our little pissant ally France declared war on, Baden. Which is over here. Baden stands little chance of actually winning. And, yeah. I'm not gonna do anything about it, but, I kept the alliance because I kept the alliance. Yeah, I'll probably just leave France alone for a while. These, Russian communists are pretty much being taken care of by themselves. The Romans have a big army over here, so I don't really have to intervene here. Nothing's gonna go on here. And these rebels over here are anarcho-liberals, so they're not gonna do anything especially dangerous. But we'll see. It's possible. I don't know where Rome's other army is in Italy. I believe their capital is Rome, so to do anything, the rebels would have to capture Rome. Okay, well, our empire is doing well. Let's check our focuses. Let's check our focuses. Okay, we're focusing colonies over here to finish colonizing that. Let's see if we made any progress here. 1886, I mean, 9. So theoretically, we should beat Russia to that. Theoretically. Where am I? Focusing bureaucrats. Oh, did I already finish that? I must have already finished that. Okay. Ulundi, I guess. Yeah. That way we finish South Africa faster. Ulundi, I believe, is the last one that is considered colonial. Yep, so that's cool. Over here though, these will take a long time. Yeah. These are more long-term things. But eventually that will come to fruition. So that's great. We just finished forming India. We still have Jaisalmer to take care of, but that's not a big deal. We are number one in everything now because of the fall of, well, the fall from grace of the North German Republic and the rise of Austria-Hungary, surprisingly enough. Rome is a solid second place, not militarily though, but yeah, the only one who's got a better military than them is the United States, and they're not doing anything. So surprisingly enough, the United States' industry is not that great. But, yeah, they should be getting up there, eventually. France is fighting Baden for that, and then North Germany is losing to Russia and Russia's allies. So, yeah. I don't think that will end well for Germany, considering they're being basically entirely occupied by either rebels or Russia. Or Japan over here. So, yeah. But we have this declaration to do. The Balfour Declaration. Now, this doesn't release Israel. That's not what it does. What it does is it establishes the cores for Israel. As you can see here, it says all Israel will gain all as core in Palestine. The Palestine state, and we'll gain some prestige. It doesn't cede that to Israel, but we'll get prestige out of this, and I had enough people complaining about it, but I had almost as many people saying that they wanted it, because a lot of people were just saying over and over that they wanted it to not be released, but it won't be released. It'll just add a core. And right now, instead of traditionally we have protected the Jewish population, except for when we were realistic about it. When we really needed piety in Crusader Kings, we did it. So, and we always had money lenders. So I suppose it's a good enough reason to do it. I think. As you can see, doesn't release nothing, but it does add the cores. Now, if they were to rebel, they would rebel as Palestine. I believe this also triggers migration from excuse me, migration from Jews to here. So that's cool. I wouldn't mind that at all. And the huge Jewish colony over here. Those are rebels. Angry rioters. I guess they're pretty much pushed out at this point. Yeah, the growth on the American colonies is really big, so there's a lot of Russians. Pretty ahistorical, actually, the Russians, and then the U.S. is finishing this off. I don't know why they haven't annexed Hawaii yet. Because they're not sphered by anybody, okay. Yeah. We're getting beaten to a lot of these islands because I've been focusing elsewhere, having big wars, etc., etc. U.S. will beat me to this, and there's little to nothing I can do about it. I can fight them, but that will have to wait till later. And that'll give us a goal, because I'm still focusing on over here, a goal later to claim the rest of the Pacific Islands. Yeah. Eventually I actually want to take control of at least a few of the ports in China. So for now, we're going to sit back and let our infamy go down, because we have quite a bit, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And basically piss on everyone and make them mad at us so that we can get those things. Asia, Johor, Siam, Cambodia, Guangxi Clique, Burma, and Jaisalmer. I was trying to get these two in my sphere, and I succeeded with this one. This one's still Turkey. Pretty confident that we can beat Turkey pretty much anytime, anywhere, especially now that we've got the majority of the Himalayas, well, at least a good proportion of the Himalayas under our control. I would like to have this so we have a solid wall of Himalayas, but yeah. Himalaya land's kind of crap as far as population and resources goes. So we'll see how this war turns out. Scandinavia's probably going to lose Finland, and North Germany's probably going to lose this. And they may lose something over here to the Netherlands. Now at this point, North Germany will probably rebound once they've stopped being captured by everybody, and will probably regain great power status. That'll take a couple of years. And Austria-Hungary is more likely to form Germany now, so we'll have to keep our eye on that. So I'll be back when something interesting happens. We got another wave of colonial unrest. Yeah, we're gonna lose a little bit of prestige. We can't afford to have that. If you remember, we panicked last time. I panicked. And reinstituted the landed vote because there was a 100% and there was, again, percent of an Indian Sepoy revolt. But that was so soon after a war that I couldn't deal with that. So, yeah, Jacobites are pretty high, but And communists are higher than angry gladiators, and the communists are radiation as well. So we'll have to deal with the sepoys when they come. But I just didn't want to compound the problem. We get a ambassador insulted by Austria-Hungary. Might as well give up the the idea that we're favoring the German Federation over them. So we might as well start increasing our relations with them. As a matter of fact, let's go through, find anyone but the Turkish Caliphate that we have problems with. And Rome's being a bit pissy. Let's keep our relations with them up, just to make sure, because they may come back around. And the Netherlands. Actually, in the Netherlands, I'm gonna leave because we might have to fight them for colonies. Over here, decrease some relations over here. Asia, good. Or I don't know. Okay. Burma? Probably already dead. And the Guangxi clique, already down. Okay. And Chilsmere. Alright. I've been ignoring those because I was at war. But we're pretty good at this point. I don't think I've discovered how to make guards yet. Let's check over here in Brittany. No, so I still can't make those. I'll be replacing everybody I can with guards when that comes up. Let's see Grant's name. And as I was kind of fearing would happen, limited constitutionalism. The political reforms enacted in the past few years, but the situation is no longer where this led to a situation where the absolutism of our monarchy can now legitimately be called into question. No longer is the king free to dictate the course of the nation to his own musings. Instead, is to accept several constitutional terms and restrictions in his exercise of power. For these reasons, our government form is no longer accurately described as a absolute monarchy, and our government type changes to Prussian constitutionalism, which leaves us, we're still a Celtic empire. It doesn't change back to Celtic Union until we go into HM government. But we're basically German Empire style government now, which is basically a middle ground between absolute and that. There's still elections, but we can appoint people and stuff like that. So yeah, so we can change it, like, to make it so that whoever we want is in power. Do we have any more decisions? Well, no, that's just one of those event ones. Okay, nothing right now. We have discovered the combustion engine, which shrinks our population growth, but makes our farms and factories go up. Okay. Alright, we discovered this combustion engine. And now assembly line would be good, advanced metallurgy would be good. This would be really good. Impressionism would be good. Let's see. Let's get a commerce stick. Let's get one of these ones that we're behind on. That one improves our educational efficiency, so I'll get that one. We've got a celebration of freedom. A massive celebration has broken out in Cairo to commemorate the end of totalitarianism. While not everything is perfect, there is now hope for a more democratic future. We quite agree. And underground newspapers and talks of freedom be removed from places. Great. That reduces our militancy. Alright, since we've got a voting in place again, we should, because we've got 3 militancy, use one of these reforms to do that. We're gonna pick the Jefferson method to reduce that. Make it not a problem for a while. But because of our war, we've still got quite a bit of gain because of war exhaustion yet. Union busting. There's foxes in the hen house, cows out in the corn. Unions have been busted and the proud red banners torn. Capitalists in one of our states have been employing union busting tactics to end what they describe as the scourge of organized labor. By employing professional infiltrators to get under the skin of the state's labor movement, capitalists hope to stow discontent among the union rank and file, you could say. An excellent initiative that can only be applauded. Rich strata lose for militancy and 20% become more reactionary. And all pops that a percentage of people that support socialists lose to consciousness, and percentage of people that support socialists gain for militancy. Or we can say they must stop infringing on organizational freedoms. Rich strata gain 2 militancy and 2 consciousness. All pops become 10% more socialist. The percentage of people that support socialists lose to militancy. Well, let's take a look at our numbers. We got a vote going on. There's not many socialists. But that's not what really matters. What really matters is the numbers. So let's check in Cairo. Look at our numbers in Cairo. There's quite a few socialists. Which means that it'd be dangerous to do either of these. 10% more socialists should put it below maximumness. It's dangerous. I'm not sure. Check some of our other capitals. It's a pretty even split in Jerusalem. Much less in Baghdad, that's good. Basra. Which there, but Carthage. Tunis, whatever. Sheesh. A lot of socialists. Nantes. Very few. Looks like Europe is being more liberal than socialist. Finally, London. Not very many. Edinburgh. A little bit more. Dublin. Quite a bit. Okay. Well. I don't think I can afford any more militancy at this point. This is just one place it looks like. So, let's check. Yeah, that didn't go 2%. Okay, cool. So I guess we'll go back to doing what we were doing before. What? France is losing? Holy crap. Whatever, France. You reap what you sow, bro. I don't know how this happened. But France is out of our sphere of influence. I was unaware that that was the case. And now they're in the sphere of Occitania, so they're dead to us. Well, not really, but I'll be trying to get them back in. I think I did this one last time. Chile Chile has declared war on Bolivia. What's this about, bro? What's your deal, man? Conquest. Cool. Ooh, cattle trucks. Now we can bring our cows to places. Good production output numbers. Less horses. Not sure why, but horses are good anyway. Let's check our progress over here. We're catching up. Looks like we're gonna be neck and neck until the very end, though. All right. To keep the wolf at bay, I suppose. Oh, Irish nationalists now. Switch to proportional voting system. Jeez. Even with our war, when our war exhaustion goes down, let's get rid of this war. You guys, can we stop fighting? Shit, I don't have any guys. I'm gonna white peace out of the war once I get a diplomatic point. Okay, in an interesting move, the Netherlands have gotten peace with the North German Federation to acquire southern Finland. So now they own this, which means people are probably going to start getting peace with North Germany. Scandinavia is getting carved up here. Jeez. We're going to lose the thing. Let's make the least amount of socialism. Okay, now let's cut past this event. I have these events starting to pop up again. I've basically been picking the ones that I think are the best idea. So, yeah. What? Okay, Occitania just might have saved Germany. Maybe not, but they may have. Occitania throwing monkey wrenches in Germany's shit, or in Russia's shit. Let's get rid of this war. France is losing badly, and it's running up our militancy, so. Fuck it. It's been a while since we've seen this. Our chosen people are there, followed by the, what's it called? The, guys who have stuff. The reactionaries, and then the anarcho-liberals, the liberals, the, socialists, and then the communists. So that's cool. I think I picked that one last time. So, but we have classics rediscovered. When I read the Athens of Pericles, the progressiveness of these ancient societies always astounds me. Read of the Athens of Pericles. Here I am, thousands of years later, less a free man than they were way back then. What they were then were they back then? Excuse me. 19th century saw a resurgence of interest in the ancient classics. Many of the ancient societies, Rome and Greece, were looked to for inspiration by the liberal thinkers, seeing in them proto-examples and experiments of those same traditions of freedom that they sought to implement in the modern era. A local reform club has republished some of the select pieces of ancient literature that are becoming high fashion among the educated elites of the Celtic Empire. Say honestly, have you nothing better to do? Lose 4 prestige, and all rich strata gain 1 militancy. Say, it is good to see the classics receiving some attention. Socratic dialogues, anyone? And 5% become more liberal, gain 1 consciousness. Whatever. There's not very many liberals left. So, that's fine. Okay, Russia is mobilized. Japan is mobilized. We found oil! Holy crap. No, shut up. It occurs to me that the reason why Occitanie added France to their sphere of influence is because they were going to intervene in this war, which means they can walk straight through France without having to ask them for permission. That's actually a good idea. I'm actually going to let them do that, because they set it up in such a way that it worked. So, I'm going to have to start focusing France. I've started focusing Germany, just in the interest of balance of power stuff, so that I can intervene in future wars if I really want to. Not necessarily that I am going to, but that I might. We'll see. Oh ho! We've discovered Daimler's automobile. Allows automobile factories and activates automobiles. And it also makes our machine parts output up by 10%. That's great. We are industrializing like never before. Tensions in the Papal States. That's interesting. We're gonna assert our position this time. That's one of our sphere guys. Lose a little bit of infamy, or gain a little bit of infamy, but that's alright. Okay, we discovered business regulations, so let's pick way behind Navy Tech. Is there anything that unlocks anything? Not really. But I do have to get this for other things, so I'll start researching that. If you'll notice here, the war exhaustion is not going to equal the amount that our thing is changing. Our militancy is changing. I'm not sure why this is. It's probably one of those events to make commies do something. I don't want to mess with the upper house all that much. Especially since, these are the only two I can mess with. And right now it's pretty inevitable that something really bad is going to happen. Let's make sure that we have... When you have a revolt like that, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have big armies, not necessarily effective armies. Really make sure that you have... oh, because they're in a place where the supply line is too low. That makes sense. So that when they pop up, the rebels pop up, they don't just instantly kill your stack. So yeah, that's something you need to worry about when you have an inevitable revolution. Say you're playing as America. And do this. You have the Civil War coming up. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. Whoa. There's nothing you can do about it. Well, there is something you can do about it with the American Revolution, or the Civil War. But, get rid of these red rows first. One of the things you need to do is you need to combine everything into one stack, if you can. And if you can't, then as much as you can, try doing that. Because when the revolt pop up, you might lose a bunch of little stacks to the rebels. And the rebels don't really combine to a single stack, so you can kind of walk around killing smaller stacks of them. Okay. Well, this still needs to split a little more. Split off a couple of these guys, and then send them somewhere else. Like up to here. Okay. But pretty much everywhere else I have, especially in India, I'll just keep it all in the top where the bad terrain is to make sure that it's pretty good, whatever happens. And just make sure that I've got everything at least close to being as in place as I can. Now, one of the things I should do is put one of my armies down here in the south. One of my bigger ones. This one would be perfect. Yes. Let's put it here since that has a good thing. I can actually build some British guys here, but I'm not going to do that until I get some guards. So, what I'm trying to show from this is I'm going to let this go since people consistently wanted me to stay in absolute monarchy, and this is as close as I can get to absolute monarchy while not sucking really bad, because absolute monarchy sucks. Prussian constitutionalism is close enough to being that, because I can still appoint people and everything. And we're still the Celtic Empire. Unless people really want me to, I'm not going to divert any more from that, so to speak. That should be a good thing to get us on. So I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm just going to let whatever revolt comes, come. And I'm going to build up my army in England, probably. I probably need to, just in case it's the communists. How close am I to getting guards? Yeah, 3%. Okay, so I need national radio networks, gas attack, stormtrooper training, interwar infantry. So we might get this, we might not. We'll see. We've discovered trademark. Makes our factories cheaper. That's good. Well, Bolivia's got Chile has annexed them. Wow. That's bad. More research points, cool. We've got this. Woodwater Strand Gold Rush. For a long time, rumors have circulated among natives that a mythical place on the high veld where gold nuggets the size of apples lie scattered openly along the ground. Though the legend was originally a figment of fact or fiction, it was confirmed today when prospectors in the Woodwater Strand struck a motherlode of gold. News of the gold rush are spreading. I don't know, spreading throughout the world like wildfire, and a new town has incorporated in the province to deal with this new influx of fortune seekers and Wheatlanders. The province shall henceforth be known simply as Johannesburg. And Woodwater Strand gains gold rush, renamed Johannesburg. Life rating plus 50%, immigrant rating plus 300%, and we gain a little event thing, and we get some prestige. The event thing probably just prevents this from happening again. So yeah. Now, where's shit? I have no idea where Johannesburg is, honestly. Here we go. Yeah, so we'll probably see a lot of immigrants coming here. Oh crap. Yeah, that's really good. Oh, and the thing that says strike the earth. I was thinking about doing a dwarf fortress. Let's play. I'll talk about that more at the end. We discovered a limited partnership company, which decreases our factory costs even further. That's great. Our capitalists should like that. Looks like the communist is dying down a bit in Rome. Oh, looks like Russia's gonna beat us here. Yeah, in the end, nothing we can do. There's nothing for it, really. We can't really do anything more than we already have. So, I'm already working Western Australia. Let's focus. Queensland. Oh well. Now, we had some troops here, so pull them out. Get on the boat. What? I only changed it once. Oh man. Sweeping reforms to our party system have been enacted in the past few years have turned our country from an absolute monarchy to a constitutional monarchy. The monarch, now serving as a symbolic head of state, no longer has the power to personally control and determine the fate of the nation, but is instead forced to accept the mitigating influences of pluralism and limited democracy. Long live the king. So we're back to where we were as the Celtic Union. That's kind of a shame, but the advancing tide of modernity cannot be held back for too long. And who knows? We could just put the reactionaries back in power and do some terrible stuff. Be Nazis again or something. I don't know. Well, that might help. Secret police. Ooh. That's really good. Cuts the organization of rebels in half. Not in half. What the fuck am I talking about? By a quarter. In half. 25% is half. By a quarter, which is really good. Let's kind of show that. Yeah. So basically, this will go up slower.